Very good. That was wild. Do you guys remember the first time that the four of you were together?
I was moving into the dorms.
Yeah.
And it was, I couldn't differentiate between them. I couldn't remember which one was Sarah and which one was Aubrey.
First time I met Aubrey, she was crying.
I probably was saying bye to my dad.
You were.
Okay.
You walked in and I was, hey.
Actually, the first time you got me was in Florida.
Oh yeah, no, the first time I met Aubrey.
Hi. I'm Aubrey.
No, she went, hi, this is awkward, and then I kept walking, and my mom was like, girl. No, when I met her in Florida, we were playing literally on the same court, and I went with my friend Ryan on my team. I was like, I think that's Aubrey, or Aubrey's on this team, the girl I'm with. So then I asked them, I was like, is there an Aubrey? And she's like, oh yeah, it's this girl. So I was like, hi, I'm Jackie. She's like, hi. It's like, going to tech next year. Okay. And then I was like, it was so uncomfortable. I was like, do you know like grooming? She's like, no. I was like, all right, well, I'll see you later, I guess. And I walked away and I went to my friend Ryan. I'm like, that's not her. Not her.
I think that girl was being polite.
Yeah, I talked to her wrong. It was so awkward.
Do you remember that same tournament? Why I embarrassed myself or embarrassed you on your court? So explain that story.
We were, I don't know, just one of our games. And
During nationals.
Yeah, he's filming, we're taking pictures with the flash, and the ref stops the game and is like, you can't do that. And then my whole team afterwards was like, God, who was that guy? I was like,
Oh my coach.
Some weirdo.
It was like my phone camera, and I didn't know the light was on. I just got this phone, and yeah, technology. Look, talking emojis now. So far I've come. And I didn't know, and it was for a while too. I'm sure it was. And all of a sudden the ref like stopped, and the whole court is looking at me. And I'm like, what do I do?
Coach, I promise.
And then meeting you for the first time was.
It
was like one of those
we were
things.
in the film room.
No. I will never figure this out. And it was one of those things like you anticipate because you've heard things, not bad
Good
things.
things.
Like Sylvie's one of a
Good
kind.
things, all good things.
This kid's
special.
gonna help you. This kid's in like a gamer or something intense. Lucas, all these things. Anyway, you show up and meet your mom with you. Who's the most bubbly, friendly,
Vivacious.
sweet, just like, hello, it's so nice to meet you. And you're kind of standing there with like, what may have been a cutoff, but I think it was like a sports shirt, like you were ready to work out, fit, like you'd been moving all day, and your mom was just, and then she goes, now coach, I'm just going to say sorry in advance for when it happens, and I'll leave you with that. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, when it happens.
No.
And then we talk, and then that preface, that warning that I had received made total sense one day in the multi. You know what it is, Alma?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And then ever since then, it's been, how do we channel that into kicking ass? And I think you figured it out. Yes, by the time you were halfway through that freshman year, huh? I mean, volleyball was. I mean, figuring out to apply it.
Still everywhere.
Stop sophomore year.
What I really meant was when Sylvie.
After screaming at Duluth.
After the Duluth screaming.
Yeah,
That was a breaking point, though.
that was a learning moment.
That's a good way to put it.
Was that one of those moments like you crashed your car, you almost died? I probably should pay attention when I drive.
Yes.
Moment.
What you getting at?
It was kind of like it all crumbled down.
Yeah, I'd say after sophomore year, preseason.
Yeah, I believe it.
What's better?
What I refer to as let's talk about the end of your freshman year, which I think was, and it's kind of a cool thing to see happen because you had played very much like a freshman in the middle for your first half, and that second half you went on some kind of tear and helped us finish games. Lots of people contributed to the wins, but you helped us finish in stressful parts of the game in a way that I think the girls who we all had joined hadn't seen done on a court. And I think that's important, because that's what I meant. It certainly was an aggressive action, right? Real kind of. So you were at the end of the bench, waiting to get in, and then you might as well be like, rotate. And and we're running down the line, and the whole gym,
So please.
and the whole team, the whole gym was like, she's getting the ball, she's going to get the ball, and it was an aggressive. I'm not saying that after that one moment you just casually like, so how's your day?
Please.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have a test today. I'm not too worried about it, really. And then Sarah, I think, is probably the most night and day change without even like anything happening. When Sarah comes to our team, I think maybe the way you came had something to do with it, but as a unsure as to where your role would be in a position that seemed at the moment like there was a lot of people in that position. You had someone in your own class. You had Abby, Tessa, Lisa, and that's just in that one position. Not to mention you got to have people come out in order for it to be used. And all of a sudden, you guys all remember this probably at some point. It was like midway through, you showed us that pursuit, the aggression that you have in the pursuit. I think the recklessness you play defense with. Part of it was sacrificing your body over and over.
When Nick goes, "You're good," and you run right into the bleachers.
Something like that. Yes.
That was a safe moment.
Yeah. It kind of like this tough side that defines you now in a lot of ways, volleyball, came out like that. That was so cool. I used to rip on you for your pink shoelaces.
Breast cancer,
Oh,
okay?
Totally.
Pink.
And it was more just about the irony of the toughest kid on our team wearing pink shoelaces. Had nothing really to do with pink shoelaces. It was the toughness. 3 concussions later, or was it 2? Two. And the inability to back down. I think one thing that I do think about the 4 of you that Mary pointed out one time was, in a weird way, you guys define or exemplify the things that I expect and love about certain things of volleyball. And I'll give you all of them. The reckless abandon in pursuit of defense. The total lack of care of physical consequences to keep the ball up. I said it the other day, and that to me is the paramount part of defense. Aggression, the aggressive pursuit of kills. We took you about 2 years to tip without throwing the ball. You know,
They're legal. They're legal.
Right. I mean, your tips looked like Shaq with a hook shot. It was just like, ooh. But now your finesse game, however unique to Sylvie, is come in handy. But what has never been different is your ability, when you are in a certain mode, we call it beast mode. You're the only one I've seen who can do it. You literally can't help but get close when you swing. It comes from an aggressive man. You could like accidentally trip and bump into the ball, and in those moments,
That has happened.
many times. Every time we get nervous about you having to play back row defense, you manage to just roll the hand at the ball. You're aggressive. That's right. And here's something the 3 of you will also find not surprising about Sylvie. Do you know that if you add her average points percent for her first 3 years are all the exact same?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not a point, not a 100th of a point. They're good numbers, but good or bad. The funny thing is, of course Sylvie's numbers are the exact same all 3 years. The consistency in which you play with, I think, it shows up in that. And then the passion. No one exudes joy of block, joy of kill, joy of seeing point us at the hands, the other team lose at the hands of us more than you. Physically, to the point where you want it so bad sometimes. We had to find ways, I think, to harness that as well. But unwavering desire to see people lose to us playing volleyball. Right? I mean, it could be triples. It could be...
Best smack talker in the gym.
Yeah, that's right. You have that gift to get to the core of competition in a very raw way. But I think, to be frank, it's just not in a lot of people, you know, and it's influence, I think, for sure, and entertaining along the way. And then You ever want to get yeah, just
Always the robot.
Keep the net, you know.
you've managed to figure out how to roll like a parallelogram
Yeah, skill.
and get right back up. But look, I want to pass. Coach my pass. Coach my pass. Coach my pass. Coach my pass. No, Aubrey, you can't pass. No, Aubrey, you can't pass that. No, okay, fine, you can pass. What did she do? First time she got into serve receive and played defense was against Lewis. For a full match. You get 20 digs and passing nails. And with a platform to boot. You're like, I know. Next.
We used to say volleyball.
For sure. And then the Jackie, I think the simplicity of the student of the game. I think you have to love volleyball to do it this much. I don't think
Go.
I've never coached you really the same way. I've coached you differently than every player, not because you're better, but because your knowledge of your position in the game is no better than mine. And it's always been that way. It's more about me trying to get you to utilize those in certain ways as best and as often as you can. I mean, you didn't really take over the libero position first. You kind of defined it and created it in your own way, and it will be the mold that we'll use going forward. But you've done what we've asked you to do, but you certainly brought your own style to the position. Your ability to read is better than any I've seen, and that love of game allows you to stay there because it's required to play at the level you do. There's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt your love of the game has allowed you to understand it so much. And it's been helpful for all of us, for sure. And I think that what's interesting, too, I said this to Doug before I came in here. Physically, the four of you have put in a toll for this team, in this program. Think about this. How many surgeries between the four? Three?
Three.
How many concussions?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5.
Probably 5. Maybe 6.
Arguably 6.
4, we're not going to count the others.
One diagnosed.
That's all that matters.
And Sylv's, it's like for you, it's like every year, it's like, what can we get out of the body left? And then you come back every summer in such impressive physical condition, ready to start again. And then by the end, or midway through the season, maybe a little earlier, every year goes by, it's that pat on the leg, trying to get the leg moving.
Stomping the knees.
Using the hands to hold the knees so they don't buckle when you land. When you charge for a ball, it's like watching someone skate fast and then realize they don't know how to stop.
Right train. Right train. They don't stop quick. They don't start quick.
Right.
But in between, it'll hurt.
But those feet are fast. Those feet are fast for those things. Too much so sometimes. You go, I can't stop myself. No, but my point is this. The four of you, not only mentally and like just volleyball-wise, but physically sacrifice a ton. It's interesting to think of it that way. And it wasn't like you were having surgeries when we were beating Northern and setting records. You were having surgeries after losing seasons, before probably prospective other under 500 seasons. And I think that's pretty cool. I mean, like the fact that you guys continued on that.
Pretty cool surgeries.
Yeah.
Scars are great.
That's what I meant, pretty much. I loved it when you got concussed.
Yeah.
Actually, the only one that I actually drew entertainment from, and I apologize, Sarah, was it was only because it was so on film. And
Of course,
but
comical.
Worth mentioning the story. So the whole drill is to stay in
Keep
the
your head
play,
in it.
to
Keep
play
your
in.
face in the drill.
It was key. It was stay in it. Just keep in it. No, get tough.
It was something like death drill.
No,
Yeah, it was
no,
like,
no,
it had a
didn't.
horrible name.
It had a connotation of like you have to be willing to get hit in order for you to pass this test. And most people didn't get hit. They all saved it for you. And you did nothing different. It just happened to the whole drill was to get low into a ball that was coming screaming over the net. And you got low and it just direct shot. And the whole group was like, oh. And I remember I just come over to you and you're wobbling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sarah, you okay? You're like, I'm fine.
Scary.
I'm fine.
Let me at him.
I'll get back. I'm fine. And then we just kept going.
No, it's not okay. Not
through,
okay.
through the group, and I'm fine. We kind of walked it back over this way. I'm fine, and then it just was, oh yeah, like. And then when you walked out, we all go, let's look at that on film.
Let's watch it.
It was a direct shot. You are a tough kid.
Oh my gosh.
That was one of, oh man. And then actually, I wanted to talk about your favorite games. What were some of your favorite games? And you can be sarcastic about it if you'd like, it makes sense, but I mean, in maybe a genuine way. It can be. It can be for self reasons. It can be for
comical reasons. Go and look at Ferris.
That's one of your best performances, Sylvie.
Oh yeah.
Explain that one.
Right. Apparently, I forgot how to walk, and my foot decided to
Yeah,
go over
wow.
and fell right on the bottom in front of how many hundreds of children?
Elementary.
Several hundreds.
A couple hundred elementary students.
I don't know how many kids could fit in there.
That was
As many as possible.
highlight of my life right there. That
And
was a prime moment. Girl Scouts went proud.
To add context to the story, in hitting lines of that same match, you were wandering around on the opposite side of the net of us hitting balls, getting pelted by balls, and looking as if, I don't know why. My ball hit me. I look at Sarah, who was in a sling, I believe, at the time,
Yeah.
on the bench. I'm like, and she's like, my favorite
So
Sylvan
much
game.
better, though.
Parkside, set 5. Hey guys, all you gotta do is be poised, just do your jobs. Sylvie, get out there and just poise, calm.
Calm, poise.
Just do your job, Gotta go. Let's go, Huskies! like right after, and Doug looks at me like,
Exactly what we needed.
are you serious? Like,
It's opposite day.
yeah. Just like that, sis. Just like that.
That's boys.
Yeah. Your best game was ODU your freshman.
My freshman year, ODU 21 on 36.
That's right.
Yeah.
We still
I don't even know that. Did we win or
We won in
We
four.
won in four.
Okay, I don't
It was a big one for the program.
You had
Every
17
time-
days.
Every time after games, they're like, remember that one play? I'm like,
No.
No, but that
No.
whole weekend, I vividly
Crushed it.
remember that
No,
weekend.
it was an amazing weekend for you, for sure. A lot of people, you were that way, Doug's that way. Doug doesn't remember specifics. It's weird.
Do you remember this player?
I can tell you
No,
the
I don't.
exact game percentage I need to get it to go from a digital context to centimeters on the computer right now.
We don't deny that.
I like numbers.
How about you, Sarah? What can you remember? Is there one game stand out for you in a specific way? For you or for the
Not seriously, Northern this year was pretty, or very seriously,
Yeah.
I guess, not on the funny note.
Not sarcastic.
Seriously.
What was up?
Northern this year was nice to do.
What you've been working for?
Yeah. Yes. It's like everything we've worked for 3 years. All in one.
Yeah, and not just because it was Northern, but especially because
Yeah.
it was Northern.
In contrast to freshman year Northern.
Or junior year Northern.
And I think freshman year was
Northern
worse.
might have
Was
been,
that
Take
one?
the
might have
cake.
been
That-
worse.
18 kills, I think, for the match.
Was it that high?
After the first one.
It was right around the amount we had of airs against Ferris that same year. So, in the first set, I mean. Slightly low. But
21?
so what about like, to me it was we played clean. Like we just for the first time started and ended how we wanted to in a difficult game.
And it was like on career fair day, which sometimes doesn't go the best
Oh, yeah.
for our stress levels.
Oh yeah.
So that
I'll
too
that
was
we
like,
worry.
we finally like compartmentalized and went from school to volleyball and played very well.
Task,
From
yes,
school to
that's so
Starbucks.
true.
Yes, to
Well said.
Starbucks to
Somebody-
volleyball.
Yes, well
Did you
said.
do
It was all
Yes,
Starbucks.
it's a combination of
Okay.
I watched it in the chapel and I was swearing.
Oh, yeah. Screaming.
That's
Yes!
on that note, what about you? What stands out to you?
Freshman year Hillsdale. This was really cool, but I just remember the first play. I think that might have been my first weekend playing outside freshman year. Maybe not.
We've been around
But
them.
anyways, very first play, like, had no idea the ball was going back, and was like, oh shit, I'm so late. Got a block.
And you probably
First-
let them
first
know
play
that you
game.
blocked it
Oh
too.
yeah.
Probably followed by one of these.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
That's the one where Maddie had her sassy overpass block.
Oh.
Talk to him. Coach can't swear, we can't do
No,
that.
but that was great. That was
That was
a memorable one.
highlight moment.
For sure. How about you, Jax?
Playing Upper Iowa this year at Upper Iowa was pretty good. Mostly, only me and Ellie really heard it, but their fans were so mean.
Oh yeah.
And so they were on the side when we were on their side of the second game. And we went over to the third game, and I looked at Ellie and I said, we can't lose this game. I'm not going back over there. She's like, me neither. We're winning. And I was like, all right, it's good. And then we won. But it was like,
I could hear jabs.
yeah, they were not nice. But it was cool because we beat them a week prior. Therefore,
It validated.
yes.
It's always hard to beat a team twice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Especially
especially
3-0.
Yeah,
And they had
at
beaten
their
us
place.
They've been
too.
beating us.
the 2 years
2 years
before.
before.
In 5, we felt like we could have had those then
Mhm.
kind of back a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.